Good morning, students. Hope you have attended and studied the previous topics which we covered about glaucoma. So let's continue the different version of glaucoma, that is primary angle closure glaucoma. So what is this angle closure glaucoma as such? Angle closure glaucoma, we all know there is a space between the angle that is between your iris and the cornea. That is, we call it as the angle of anterior chamber, where we have a meshwork like thing, that is trabecular meshwork, through which the aqueous is drainaged. If that channel is closed, okay, by shortening of that angle, so that leads to the raise in the intraocular pressure and further leads to glaucoma. So in angle closure glaucoma, here the iris moves forward and it blocks the trabecular meshwork. Okay, so there are various factors which may predispose for this angle closure. One may be the old age, because in old age, as the size of the lens or the cataractous lens size increases, that push the iris lens diaphragm further and that causes the angle closure. Gender, in female it seems to be the angle is comparatively narrow to the male, and in races, in most of Asians and Chinese, again because of the narrow angle, and it runs families. Okay, these pictures, how it shows, normally you can see there will be space between your angle, the iris and the trabecular meshwork. So when this iris is pushed and it closes, whatever the aqueous is there, it's gets collected behind this, the iris, and further causes the adhesions and the blockage of your angle of anterior chamber, and that's how the IOP is raised. So there are other varieties, what we call it as the pupillary block mechanism, lateral iris configuration syndrome, and phacomorphic mechanism. So these are the different situations where the angle is get closed. The pupillary block mechanism. Here, normally what happens, the pupillary margin freely moves over the lens during the contraction and the dilatation. So whenever there is the adhesions between your pupillary margin and the anterior surface of the lens, what happens? The aqueous which comes from the ciliary body, it ideally passes through the pupillary hole, okay, through the pupil. So whenever there is a blockage at this level, there will be accumulation of this aqueous humor in the posterior part or the posterior tube. Slowly, this aqueous try to push this peripheral iris anteriorly. So that further causes the closure of the angle of anterior chamber. Okay. So the conditions are, one is because of your physiological or pharmacological mydriasis or valacellomanure. These are the conditions where there is a possibility of pupillary block mechanism. Another one is plateau iris configuration syndrome, where the central depth of the AC is normal, but it shows shallow at the periphery because the iris is anteriorly positioned comparatively to the normal conditions. So that's why there is a high possibilities of angle closure in such patients. Phacomorphic, yes, again your size of the lens is increased because of the age-related cataract, or you may be intumescent stage, or due to the traumatic condition where the lens is swollen up, that causes the apposition of your the iris and the lens, and enhance the blood pressure. So this is how you can see in the picture. Here there is a pupillary blockage is there. Normally the aqueous comes out like this. Okay. So because there is no space to go out for the aqueous, it start collecting over here. As the pressure increases posteriorly, slowly the iris bulges out. Okay, and that causes the apposition of this peripheral iris to the trabecular or the angle of the interlocutor. So there are two types of classification of this primary angle closure glaucoma. So according to the International Society of Geographical and Economical Ophthalmology, this is a recent type which is usually followed now. One is primary angle closure suspect, primary angle closure and primary angle closure glaucoma. So these are the different stages what we see. So the previous or traditional classification was latent primary angle closure glaucoma, subacute or intermittent closure glaucoma, acute and primary angle closure glaucoma. So let's see what happens in case of suspect primary angle closure. The name itself indicates there are no such entities of angle closure, but there is a suspicious that the angle is closed. So in such kind of patients, sometimes it can be accidental diagnosis because the patient won't have any symptoms. When patient has come for the routine eye checkup, that time you can make out, or any family history is there as such. So in such person, AC appears to be shallow. When you go for the TORS test, the shadow of the opposite nasal side seems to be more. Okay. Then anterior chamber depth is comparatively less. And on Von Erich's slit lamp method, you have grade 1 to 2. Okay. Ideally, in case of normal, the Von Erich slit lamp grading is grade 4. You say it is open angle. And one more method is gonioscopy. Gonioscopy is the diagnostic procedure where you have different mirrors. Okay, it is just like your 90D or a 70D lens, how it is examined, but it is kept on the cornea to see the angle structures, because normally angle structures are hidden by your cornea. Okay, so because of this different type of lens, we can make out the angle structures. Ideally, there is an open space. You can see all the structures from shortest line to your scleral spur or the root of the iris. You say it is open. But in case of suspects, what happens? There is adhesions or the contact of this iris and peripheral iris and the cornea more than 270-degree angle. We measure it in terms of the 360 or in 4 quadrants we ideally calculate. So when it is more than 3 quadrants are closed, but IOP seems to be normal in patients and there are no optic disc or visual field changes, which is the factors to say it is a glaucoma. That's why only gonioscopic structures are there and the rest of the things are all normal. That's why we are suspecting it is angle closure glaucoma, because it is more than 270 of angle is closed. So what do you do in such patients? Either you call them periodically every 3 monthly or the 6 monthly, or otherwise if patient is unable to come, you can go for the prophylactic laser iridotomy, where you have the opening in the peripheral iris. It is a OPD procedure as such, hardly 15 to 20 minutes is needed and no need of any stay of the patient, but he has to come for the next day follow-up. And whenever there is a opening, a gush of aqueous you see coming out of that, so you have to do a adequate size of this peripheral iridotomy, because in future after few years there is a chances of closure of this the openings in the peripheral iris. So how do you say whether it is the entire opening of the this iridotomy is done or not? So when you see the retroillumination test, you can see the how the illumination you see from the pupil, the same kind of illumination you can see in this spot. So that indicates the adequate size of the laser iridotomy. Okay. So now coming to the primary angle closure. Okay. So here it can be subacute, acute or chronic angle closure. Okay. So here more than 270-degree iridotrabecular contact seen on the conioscopy. IOP is raised but optic disc and visual fields are normal. So subacute primary angle closure glaucoma in that. So here there is a transient rise of IOP more than 40 to 50 mm of Hg. It lasts for minutes to hours. So it is not a continuous entity as such. But it happens whenever there is a precipitating factors like pharmacological mydriasis is there, or physically shallowing of anterior AC is there, or the patient is sitting in a dark area where there is a possibility of dilatation of the pupil takes place. In such case, there will be sudden attack of raised IOP, blurring of vision. Patient will have the color all around the light. Sometimes severe headache, one-sided headache, eye and brow ache will be there. And after taking the rest or when he comes into the light, or because of the physiological miosis or using the pilocarpine, patient may feels good. So here the treatment is a peripheral iridotomy only. Next is acute primary angle closure glaucoma. It is a very emergency case, very severe case, because if it is left like that, the patient may lose his eye permanently. So it is, we call it as a acute congestive glaucoma. Okay. So here there is a sudden rise of IOP because of the primary angle closure, which usually not relieved at its own because of miosis. It remains continuously like that. Okay, so symptoms are patient have very severe sudden onset pain in one eye. He will have the nausea and vomiting, and then progressive impairment of the eye. There will be redness, photophobia, vision, and on examination you can see the severe lid edema is there, circumcorneal congestion, conjunctiva is very congested, and the cornea appears to be edematous and it is insensitive on the touch, and AC is completely shallow, and you can see some type because of the kind of inflammation setups aqueous flares and cells may be seen. On conioscopy, if the cornea appears to be normal, the angle is closed on conioscopy and iris is discolored, pupil is semi-dilated, vertically oval and non-reactive, and yes, obviously the IOP is raised about 50 to 70 mm of Hg, and optic disc is edematous and hyperemic. And the fellow eye, other eye also looks shallow angle and occludable angle. Here the picture of acute congestive glaucoma. You can see the sometimes dilated, fixed and non-reactive people if the optic nerve is involved as such. If the pressure is more and the optic disc is inward. Okay, then here comparatively the cornea is not so edematous, it is quite clear, and circumcorneal congestion you can see, and the angle of anterior chamber is shallow. So what is the management? So you need an immediate treatment to reduce the intraocular pressure. So use systemic hyperosmotic agents like IV mannitol 1 gram per kg by body weight, or glycerol you can orally you can use that is in the same quantity like 1 gram per kg body weight. And then one is carbonic anhydrase inhibitor you can use, that is a tablet acetazolamide 250 mg TID. You can use it for at the max you can use for 1 month because it has its own side effects of tingling, numbness, and the potassium decrease. So topical anti-glaucoma has to be started along with that in the form of timolol or in case of brimonidine or the combination of these drugs. And pilocarpine is a must. You have to use because you are releasing some sort of peripheral adhesions by contraction of the pupil. And along with that, you have to use analgesics and antiemetics. Topical steroid is must because inflammatory the things has started. So prednisolone acetate or the dexamethasone you can use 4 times a day in tapering. And sometimes when you do the gonioscopy, some sort of peripheral synechium may open up and that gives the relief of the block. The definitive therapy is laser peripheral iodotomy you can go for. But once the inflammation is settled and the patient is symptomatically okay, you can go for the filtration surgery. Filtration surgery, that is trabeculectomy, which is a common done. And you have to take care of the other eye because that also there is also a chance to that is acute angle closure glaucoma in other eye also. So we have to do the peripheral iodotomy. We have to do it in patient. So here we are completing the acute angle closure glaucoma. Next class we are covering the chronic angle closure glaucoma and other glaucomas. So hope you people will study well and you go through your books for the further pictures and all. Thank you.